We're back. Let's check in with Ivy, who is in Central.
When I think of hackers, I imagine someone in a big black hoodie typing furiously away at the computers. Or in movies, you can always count on a hacker to get past those nifty security protocols. Well, in reality, our world really needs cyber experts, these so-called white hat hackers, in order to protect the public from cyber attacks of all sorts. I'm here at a convention that has brought together cybersecurity talents in one place, not just to hack for fun, but to financially secure their future careers. Let's hear first-hand insights into this mysterious line of work.
The word hacker does come with a negative connotation, but companies are hiring people with those skill sets to improve their cybersecurity. Let's learn more about why it's so important. Ivy?
Katie, thank you so much for the speech earlier. Well, actually, I'd really like to know a little bit more about what you do and why did you start this company?
Yep. No, thanks for coming. Very happy to have you today. So, personally, I'm a professional hacker by trade.
Wow.
So currently, I'm running a cybersecurity consulting firm with about 250 people in Hong Kong. So we do lots of things, very complex, but in a nutshell, what we do is to help organizations to uncover their bugs, their cyber bugs. And once we uncover them, we'll fix them.
Wow.
So that's kind of what we do.
I see. What kind of organizations do you work with? Like, is it the small companies or do you usually work with, larger corporations?
Oh, actually all kinds. Actually, I have to say that in the cyber world, no one is left behind. That means once you're hooked up to the internet or you're hooked up to the cyber world, you're subject to hack. Not necessarily a huge company, yes. So as your phone, so as your email, whether it's using like any of your free, that sort of a common email that you're using, you're all subject to that risk. So what I'm trying to say is that we work with all sort of companies, whether they're large, whether they're small, whenever they have need, we'll go and protect them.
Well, what inspires you to start this event and to also found your company?
Our initial motto for this event is very simple. We have done a lot of hacking. We use this experience and we convert that into a lab, like a real life scenario. And then we give it back to the students and ask them to try. Do we want to tell them that you can start young and with the things that you learn now is actually very precious for the future because there's the world is going digital. So lots of new platforms being developed, right? And they need a lot of professions like young students to find bugs. And again, some people might think hacking is negative. Actually, it's not. If you think about it, in order to create a secure system, you have to do hack, fix, hack, fix, hack, fix, hack, fix, hack, fix. You hack, you fix, you hack, you fix. If you do this a million times, what will you get?
Oh, the Great Wall.
Yeah, a secure system. So, that's exactly the motto. So hacking is a very, very important skill set.
I see.
Nadesh, I just want to say thank you so much for agreeing to speak with me. Why is cybersecurity so important?
And cybersecurity nowadays, I think the importance is much more than any other years before, right? Especially with the threat landscape keeps changing on the daily basis.
Yes.
And what has happened is, gone are the days when cybersecurity was only about a virus attack on a PC or on a server and the person just goes and fixes that or resets a password. I think now the threat landscape is beyond that. The attackers are actually trying to get into an organization, trying to steal important data, trying to disrupt your key operational critical systems.
Oh dear.
So it becomes more and more important for organizations to set up a proper and holistic cybersecurity program within the organizations.
How has the pandemic affected, say, the cybersecurity landscape?
When the pandemic struck, it was in one go that many countries started to shut down themselves, their borders. So the impact on the organization was much more because now there are two things. One is they can't have a BCP site. Or the other issue was that people can't go to offices to work. We had to find innovative ways to keep our staff online and keep working. Now the impact of cybersecurity on that was because with COVID and with work from home, and that became a vector for cyber criminals to get in and impact an organization like that. And the challenge is that cybersecurity is a very niche area. Until someone has worked in that area, until they have gained the required knowledge, right, it becomes very difficult for the staff who's going to want to get into this, and they find it very complex. So there's always that initial restrictions or a barrier that they have to get into this. So, so yes, we are facing, and like any other organization, we are also facing shortage on the cybersecurity staff.
David, I very rarely meet someone like you, especially in the tech field, I'm telling you.
Okay, right. Well,
what is your background?
Well, my background is I've been studying computer science in UK a while back. And since I came back to Hong Kong, I've been working for tech companies.
Oh.
And I find it fascinating because there are so many different technologies from all over the countries. And you get to see how different technologies can help different companies.
Yeah, for sure. But you're not the coder, are you?
Well, my first job was actually a coder for a bank. And I think after a year, I have decided to change from coding to a more consulting role. IT consultation is about, you can say, gluing different pieces of technology into one. So any company can easily use them. It's very similar to nowadays when we use a mobile phone, you just have an app. Well, actually behind that app, there are a lot of different, IT storage, design processes, but you don't want to worry about that too much. You just want to use it. But nowadays, because technology is getting very complicated, security, again, is very complex.
Yes.
A client can be a C-level from a large corporation government. Well, he or she actually don't want to go into too much details, but how will this affect, let's say my customer? And if my platform isn't the perfect one, how can I improve it? So I think we need more talents to convince customer, not just using, technology, technical jargon, or, very, proprietary terms, but you probably want to use a layman term to explain this. And this is sometimes I would use it is, all these tech companies here are ingredients. If any customer want to benefit from their technology, they need a system integrator to put everything together. It's very similar to going to a restaurant. If, tonight, Ivy, you want to feel like Japanese, you don't want to worry too much about where the fish is coming from or the noodles is coming from, as long as the chef is, making the dish that you want.
Were there any instances where the client simply didn't understand what you were saying?
Yes, well, most small and medium-sized companies in Hong Kong have very limited resources. So for them to understand the complexity of IT, in particular cybersecurity, would be a challenge. So usually you need to work with the right service provider. And with limited budget or resources, the simpler, the better. But in terms of, bigger corporation, they usually have experts in every area.
Yeah.
So this is usually not a big problem for them.
I see. You won the competition last year. What was the experience like?
I think generally it's very exciting to join this competition. Last year we were in a hotel and they got a sea view, and then my team and I are coding along the sea view for like 9 hours a whole day.
Oh.
We were sitting together, we even skipped lunch just to try to finish our questions in the competition. We got universities from Hong Kong and Singapore joining together virtually and physically. And then they gave us a lot of questions, like some sample vulnerable websites for us to try to hack into, or like some codes that we try to find vulnerabilities inside.
Okay.
It's like solving a puzzle.
Okay, I see. So, well, after you won the competition, what did you get up to?
Actually, for this competition, I was given an internship last summer. I got a lot of experience out of it too.
How did you actually get into hacking?
I actually only started learning hacking weeks before the competition.
What? Really? So basic coding knowledge would simply prepare you for this?
Yeah. Basic coding knowledge, and I think some ideas about how networks, computer networks and websites will do.
Where do you see your career prospects going?
Actually, the last internship experience helped me a lot in understanding what I want to know more. And thankfully, it also leads me to a coming internship in investment banking as a technical job. My future role is going to be helping traders to build applications, or like helping them to build some platforms, improve their trading system. Yeah.
Oh, you must be so excited about it.
Yeah, it's also so thankful to secure an internship this early.
Yeah. What was the culture like at your internship?
I think there's not much hierarchy than expected. The managers, the partners are very willing to talk with us, and we can ask them for advice on our day-to-day jobs.
Okay.
And they gave us hands-on experience to work on some clients' applications as well.
What other kind of benefits were there at the job?
I think it's firstly, it's very flexible, the working hours, like whenever we finish the task of that day and then we can just leave the office. And our meetings are also very convenient as well, as we can meet online or meet physically.
We are venturing further and further into unknown cloud-based territories. As our world becomes ever more digitalized, the IT profession is in even higher demand as businesses and governments seek to protect the public from security risks. It's great to see how we are fostering new generations to face the challenges of tomorrow.